Hello Gemini, welcome to Demella Universe. We are Velastri. Thank you so much for joining us. This is for the Sun, Moon and Rising sign of Gemini. And Gemini, this is a special reading from Source. This reading brings through a positive change, a positive manifestation, a positive blessing in 60 days to viewing this reading. So this is a timeless reading. And whenever you happen upon this reading, whenever you feel inspired, from 60 days when you watch it, you can expect a positive change, a positive transformation, a manifestation in your life. And yes, 60 days might seem like a long period, but this is a slow-moving manifestation, slow-moving energy, because the manifestation and the blessing and the change to come is to be stable. It is something that's going to remain with you for a long time, and it takes time to integrate this manifestation, this beautiful change. Okay, Gemini, so what is coming to you in 60 days? Let us see. Positive change, positive manifestation. Coins, ooh. Coins with number 9, so really feeling that 9 of Pentacles there, energy as well. Detachment, okay. So beautiful Gemini, what we're receiving here of the coins is you are coming into the space of complete independence in the next 60 days. So building up to the 60 days, you are having a beautiful shift in your energies, where you are really getting empowered into your stability, into your independent frequency, where you are releasing codependency entirely, Gemini. That means you're no longer holding the physical responsible for your well-being. You're no longer holding anything or anyone responsible for your well-being. You are centering within your truth, centering within source within you, and you are allowing the source you are to create the abundance of you. This is you really allowing source, the frequency of you, to take the shape of your finances, of your security, of your abundance, of your stability. We can give you an idea through our existence, or rather our experience, where we had studied physiotherapy or physical therapy, and that's something we had studied for, and that brought us abundance at a stage, and then we released it in order to follow another path. And as we were on that other path, we then discovered our spiritual path, and now we create abundance from source. What we do here on this channel, what we bring through our healing, isn't something we studied. It's not something we learned. It's something we are remembering. It's something we are reintegrating. It is born of our soul. And that is what we are feeling here. It doesn't mean that you're going to have a spiritual career and leave your physical career. No, it just means that you are going to your physical career, whatever you are doing, however you are receiving your security, your abundance, your finances, is going to be primarily born of your soul frequency. So yes, for some of you, it might very well mean leaving your corporate or your very physical kind of work that you studied for or you learned for, and tapping into more of a spiritual practice. Others of you, it might mean that your current work is going to evolve to honor more of your soul, to honor more of your soul frequency. It just means that instead of the finances and security being born of the physical external, you are now going to manifest finances, security, your independence born through your soul, through the truth of you, through source, because that's stable. That is more stable than you creating from the external. You creating from source, you creating from the truth of you, you creating through your authentic expression, your authentic creativity, your authentic, what really rings true to your soul. That is stable. That is what brings in abundance. And that is what's happening over the next 60 days. You are almost transitioning from creating your stability and your abundance from the external to now allowing it to be born of your truth, of your source, of your true creative authentic expression. And this brings a lot of stability, because now you're no longer dependent on any external variable for your stability and your success. You are simply allowing everything to be born of you. So you are fully in charge and fully in control of your abundance and your stability and your resources through source. You do not depend on any external factor or person or frequency or being to assist you or to be responsible for your financial well-being. So it's a great liberation for you, and it sets you free. It allows you to finally amass abundance, which will assist you to build your new business or build your healing practice, or transform and evolve your current work, your current practice into something else, into something more that aligns with your source, with your soul. And it really frees you. That's what we're really feeling. It frees you. Right now, whatever you're doing might feel a bit limiting, might feel a bit restricting, like you just really can't express your true self, you can't really come into your full power. And it also feels financially restricting, like you have to really work so much harder for you to receive the finances you deserve, that you really have to almost hustle where you are right now in order to make a difference. And Source is saying it's simply because what you're doing isn't really born of your frequency, isn't honoring your codes for abundance. And now you are shifting it from external to internal in the next 60 days in order for all that you do to be born of source within you. Thus your abundance and the support and whatever you are receiving and manifesting is born of your highest frequency. Thus the flow of income comes at an ease. It becomes a lot more fluid, and you don't have to you will work because you enjoy it, and you will put time and effort into it because you will enjoy what you are doing. However, the energy is balanced now. So whatever energy you're putting out, you receive it. It's not that you are doing, you're putting 100 steps in only to get 1 step's return. Now, if you put 100 steps in, you get 100 steps. You even get 200 steps return. Whatever you're putting in, you're getting more from. You're really receiving a lot more return of energy, a lot more return of investment for what you're doing than what you are currently receiving at this time. Okay, very beautiful energies there. And it really does feel, for the majority of you, it is something to do with how you create abundance. So your career sector, it feels like a huge manifestation or transformation in your career sector. Even if you are well off, and even if you are already financially secure, what you are doing is still about to evolve to source. And that's then would be your challenge, where you are already successful, you're already doing so well, and yet you feel it's time for you to move to something completely different, So that'll be the lesson for you to release that abundance, and to allow then the true abundance born of source, which will be even more greater and more sustainable and more fluid in a way. It just changes the landscape of your physical reality, and what you do, and how you express yourself, and how you support yourself. Detachment. With detachment, you finally feel whole inside, with or without the fulfillment of a particular desire. Ironically, that's often when it's fulfilled. And yes, so you are also going to have this, as you are evolving and as you are shifting from this external foundation to the internal, you are going to also feel yourself detaching a lot more from all, actually. Because in order for you to really allow the source of you to now take the shape of what you are, you need to release and allow the source of you to show you who you are. So it brings a powerful detachment, because the only reason why you might not want to, or you might fear, the only resistance to this is fear of the unknown. And that's because you have a specific known, because you have a specific outcome in mind. You then fear not having or receiving that specific outcome. But as soon as you detach from that specific outcome, then you no longer fear, because if you don't have any outcomes, if you don't have a specific way you think things are going to manifest, you then allow an open space, you allow an open, free frequency of creation. And that's what's happening. You're going to stop having fixed ideas of who you are, fixed ideas of how things should manifest, fixed ideas of how the abundance is going to look like. You're going to release the direction of you, and you're going to be a lot more fluid. You are going to allow the source within you to show you how to manifest your abundance. Again, we can bring this back to our own life experience, where we could have never imagined how to even start with Gemini Universe. Now, we didn't even know this was going to really be our path. We're just open to receiving, and as we allowed ourselves to receive from Source, Gemini Universe, and the offerings and the healings that we offer, the services we offer just took their own shape. Each time we learned a different skill set, or we received a different healing, we then received also how to integrate it into our healing practice. We couldn't direct this even if we wanted to. If you had told us 10 years ago that we would not be physiotherapists and we would have a spiritual practice where we were reading tarot and channeling from other worlds and dimensions, we would have literally thought, okay, so what have you been drinking? What have you been smoking? Can we have a bit of that too? Because wow, that's a crazy adventure you're talking about. We would have not believed you at all. It's something we couldn't foresee or even foretell. It's simply something we had to discover. And so you're really asked to release how you think, because that's what causes the resistance and the fear. You want to sort of map out how this experience is going to look like. Again, it's like, imagine the caterpillar being told it's going to be a butterfly, and now the caterpillar is trying to map out how it's going to transform. It would be so anxious, because how on earth could it conceive that a form like that would all of a sudden have wings? It would start thinking, but I have such a heavy, long, squiggly body. How am I going to have wings? And how big are these wings going to be? And it starts trying to conceptualize the new energy with its current situation. And Source is saying, if the caterpillar knows how to detach immediately, because it simply allows its whole form to take the shape anew, and it needs detachment for that. And that's where you are healing at the 60-day period, where you're going to find yourself more and more releasing what you think, or the way you think things are going to happen, or you're going to stop trying to control how things should manifest, or how people should react to you, how people should observe you, or how people should respond to your changes, how things should work out. You're going to really feel yourself a lot more freer. Again, that energy of freedom coming in, where you are no longer so concerned with the how and the why, but you are more allowing the discovery and the formation and the fluidity within Source becoming the physical you are. Because after the 60-day period, we definitely feel you are very, very different from how you are now. You are very different. You're not going to recognize yourself. You're not going to recognize your career. You're not going to recognize what you do. You're not going to recognize what you stand for, what you feel for, what you believe in. It's as if whatever micromanaging, controlling energy you were having, trying to direct and maintain a certain way of vision, it's going to be completely dissolved in the next 60 days, where you are now a fluidity, where you're just going to allow yourself to be who you are. You're going to allow yourself the discovery of you. You're going to just be at ease and not need to have this rigid why and when and how. You're just simply going to be open and in positive anticipation for the discovery of how you are going to manifest your reality. It's just going to come upon you. You're going to have this ease, this grace, this freedom, this flow. People around you are going to be quite amazed at how relaxed and chilled you are. You're just not going to be this anxious, stressful person. You're going to be so relaxed, at ease, and People around you might actually be concerned, like, but you've just left your job and you're doing this a different thing. Aren't you worried? And you're gonna be like, no, actually, I'm quite good. I know I'm on the right path, and I'm just feeling my way through it, and things will just work out, and things will work out. Look, things are going to work out beautifully at the end by the 60-day period. By the time you receive this, it's this transformation. It feels like it's a transformation you are having in the next 60 days to get you into this almost 9 of Pentacles, 9 of Coins state, where you are no longer relying on the physical, on physical outcomes, on physical knowledge, on physical parameters, on physical guarantee points to amass your abundance or to show you who you are, where you are now finally aligning with Source within you and allowing the discovery of you. And this powerful transformation, once it's occurred in 60 days, finally things are now just moving fluidly for you, because now you have released the wheel, as it were, and you're allowing Source to take the wheel to finally show you who you are. You're finally releasing your grip on things. You are no longer so anxious, no longer so controlling and micromanaging of your life, because that's what's happening at this time. Your soul wants to show you who you are, but your egoic mind is keeping you back out of fear, out of needing to know, out of control, out of need of understanding, out of need of certainty. And that is where you're at a bit of a loss, because you feel that you, the part of you that's having the control, you think that is Source, and Source saying, no, that is not Source, that is ego, because that control and that holding on is fear, and Source is not fear. Source doesn't create out of fear and anxiety. Source is forever within love. And the only reason why you're holding on is fear of the unknown, fear of what will happen, fear of you losing what you think you want. And Source is not fear. So you are going to come into that understanding really clearly in the next 60 days, where you finally release the fear of your abundance, and you finally allow yourself to embody Source and to fully flow within Source and to fully be Source. And you then finally create within love, for Source is love. Okay, let's pull some tarot. Love yourself into being, Gemini. Don't fear yourself into being. Yes, you see, this is also saying there is the almost the delay or the pause in things moving forward is the work being done right now to get you into the state of independence, no longer being dependent on the physical for validation, no longer being dependent with attachment to outcomes, but rather releasing all this energy. There's a bit of an energetic clearing happening with you in the next 60 days, where you're releasing the tethers of illusion and the tethers of fear and the tethers of anxiety, of ego that keep you almost suspended in time. You are really clearing your garden of all the weeds that no longer serve you, and you're coming into the space of divine empowerment. Here it is, you see, empowerment. Here you are. This is what you are coming into, your King of Wands energy. And this is the divine masculine. It has nothing to do with gender. It is your physical realm, your action energy. And finally, with the Wands energy, Wands is spirit. So this is Source. Source is saying you're finally allowing the light, the physical realm, to be Source, to be spirit. And so this is you now leading and taking charge and creating your abundance through Source, through spirit. This is you reclaiming your crown. This is you allowing all the action you're doing, every single thing in the physical, to manifest through Source, and no longer fearing it, no longer fearing your fire, no longer fearing your power, no longer fearing the truth of your divine existence and manifestation. This is you really fulfilling your destiny. And this is you finally tapping into the wisdom of Source energy, the wisdom of the ages, the wisdom of your eternal being, and allowing that to guide and lead you throughout all experiences. You're really coming into a divine embodiment of your power. You're no longer fearing source within you creating your reality. That is it. You're finally going to allow source to create your reality, and only source. No longer needing the validation and the understanding and the confirmation of those around you or society, because that holds you back, that dims you, that takes away your light. You're now allowing yourself to shine and burn fully and powerfully through source energy. Knight of Swords, yes, and source is saying, look, you will receive the understanding, you'll receive the clarity, you'll receive the communication, the resolution, and you are going to finally receive the answers you have been hoping for. A lot of clarity returns to you over this time, over the 60 days. A lot of work in your mind space, actually, where you are no longer fixed and rigid in what you believe and more fluid and formless. You are allowing source to finally be fluid and formless and to be swift and changing within the mind space, not stuck and rigid and certain and determined. And you do receive a lot of communication and understanding at this time. You will simply know what to do. And source says a lot of you already know what to do. It's just whatever the fear and the holdup is, whatever the delay, or however you are holding yourself back, it's being resolved this 60-day period. Because it's only you that's holding yourself back at this time. Nothing else is. And look, the justice, source is saying, look, and everything works out in your favor, because now you're home to receive you. Now you're finally in your authentic truth, where you can finally now receive that which is you, receive that which is your authentic truth. Finally a balancing. This is number 8, infinity, as within, without. You are finally allowing the source within you to manifest the truth of you, and you see it here as it mirrors the King of Wands energy, as you are finally empowered within you, as the physical finally is source. You are now receiving that which is you, now receiving that which is source. And it is a beautiful frequency you're finally receiving. It's like a downpour of abundance, as this image illustrates, because finally you are allowing yourself to receive you. And that is the big key factor. As you allow yourself to be you, you allow yourself to receive you. And it's time, and you know this, Gemini, all of you know this, but for some reason you almost fear it and you hold yourself back. And however you've been holding yourself back, you're coming to a great understanding of it. Finally, in these 60 days, you're going to not be able to avoid or overlook how it's you who's holding yourself back. And it finally allows you to release it, to detach whatever it is that's keeping you from owning your power. You finally release it. And it has a lot to do with detachment and attaching to things that no longer serve you. And you finally release those attachments and you finally break free, and it brings a balancing of energies into your life. And look at that, you guys get 6 cards. Everybody else had 5, but of course, Gemini, you want more, and we're happy to give you more. And look, the 5 of Wands there, yes. 5 of Swords rather. Finally releasing worry, because that's what's happening. It's almost you're having a confusion. And look, we love how the energies of mirroring energies have swapped around now. The Knight of Swords is now of the Justice. So not only do you receive the manifestations, you also receive clarity. And finally, what you're receiving allows for a balancing and energetic restore in your mental body, where you are now in a space where everything is just and you understand everything fairly. You finally see yourself fairly. It's almost that you undervalue yourself. And now after the 60-day period, you no longer undervalue yourself. You finally see the value of you in a fair and just manner. The King of Wands with the 5 of Swords here now. Yes, no longer confused, no longer back and forth, no longer anxious, no longer frustrated, no longer questioning you, because that's what's happening. You are this powerful rose and you know what to do, but you keep pinning yourself down with these swords of illusion, of fear, of anxiety, of second guessing, of needing to know, needing to understand, needing, and you're finally releasing this and tapping more into your intuition, into that solar plexus, into that third eye energy, where you're just fluidly, intuitively going without having to dissect every single step, but by allowing yourself to discover the steps you are shown as you are now honoring the source you are. And look, it's a complete rebirth, a complete rebirth. A complete rebirth, where you finally step out of the shadows, step out of the limitations. And when we say the shadows, we don't mean the divine shadow. We mean the unawakened shadow, the shadows of illusion, the shadows of you holding yourself back, of you dimming your light. So you step out of that nature and you come into the brilliance of your truth, the divine shadow, which is honoring all of who you are, no longer fearing yourself. No longer fearing yourself into being, but loving yourself into being, and coming into a complete rebirth. And as you come into the light, into the physical, you're completely whole, you're shining bright. There's a whole rebirth where you're no longer holding yourself back. You're now finally letting yourself shine fully and balanced and clearly. And you're releasing the anxiety, releasing the micromanaging, releasing the mental setbacks, because that's how you keep holding yourself back in your mind. You just keep, you're almost stuck in the mind, because you have this need to know how everything is going to work out. And Source is saying, this is about the discovery of you, and it's time that you honor and understand this. You are a eternal source energy. It's not just a fun fact, it's a truth. It's a truth. It's time for you to embody this. And you came into this physical reality to discover who you are. Discovery means unknown. You cannot know. Or else if you knew how everything was going to be, you would not be here. And you know this. But it's time that you now actually embody it. You're the only one holding yourself back, Gemini. There's nobody else. There's nothing else. You are the only one holding yourself back at this time. And during this 60-day period, you are coming into a rebirth where you're going to understand exactly how you're holding yourself back. Because some of you might be right now saying, but I'm not himself, I'm doing all the work, I'm doing everything. And so saying that there's something you're not seeing. There's something you're not seeing. And you're going to see it during this 60-day period. And when you see it, you're finally going to have the power to move away from it and to bring yourself into the liberation of you. And some of you know exactly what it is, but for some reason you've been holding yourself back out of fear. And finally, over the 60-day period, you're no longer feared. You release all attachments. You allow yourself to be fluid and to be formless, and everything works out so beautifully. Look at your opening card, Gemini. Let me just say, nobody else has received this card yet. You have nothing to fear. Universe is literally saying abundance pours down to you. This is all that you receive when you step into your power. You receive you, and you are abundant. And it's beautiful. So whatever thoughts you have that you are lackful, for that seems to be what you are having a huge rebirthing of. Some aspect of your mental body keeps conditioning that your source is lackful, that you are lackful, that you at your truth, you are lackful, you are worthless, that you are going to fail. There is some programming there of you believing that you're going to fail when you step into your power, and that's being shown to you and being healed over this period because you're a success. Look at how the coins is right under the King of Wands. You're a success when you step into your power, and it's time for you to know this as your truth. Blessed be.